Brilliant. Well, yeah, thank you everyone. Welcome to our webinar. We're really excited to introduce our new integration with JSTOR today. And on the Lean Library side, we are joined by Daniel, who's our product director. And then Mike from Ithaca has also joined us, and he'll be representing JSTOR today. So just to give you a brief overview of the agenda. So Mike will take you through JSTOR, just give you a brief introduction and explain a little about what they do. And then Daniel will take over and introduce Lean Library. And then he'll go into the JSTOR integration, give you a kind of brief demo of the integration in action, and then explain the benefits for usage driven and discoverability. And then we'll also have a Q&A section at the end. So if you have any questions at all throughout the session, then just drop them in the Q&A box at the bottom and we'll answer them at the end. Okay, brilliant. I'll pass over to Mike now, who can talk to you about JSTOR.
Thank you so much for that. All right. So yeah, thank you. My name is Mike Sollers, and I work as an analyst at Ithaca. Ithaca is a not-for-profit organization with a mission to improve access to knowledge and education for people around the world. And being a mission-driven organization, we're always looking for new ways to delight users, solve their problems, and meet them at their point of need. JSTOR is one of our flagship offerings, and it provides access to millions of journal articles, books, images, and primary sources. Many of the items in JSTOR are open access and do not require any type of login account or authentication at all. So even if your institution doesn't participate in JSTOR, you can still leverage the open access content through the Lean Library browser extension. I'm really excited about this integration with Lean Library. It helps us extend our reach by giving access, giving users a fast and easy way to access the content within JSTOR, wherever it is that they're doing research. So a little later in the presentation, we're going to take a look at how JSTOR works within Lean Library. And I would like to invite you to share your feedback or criticism with both Daniel and I. I believe that gathering your feedback is a critical component in ensuring that we're building solutions that work for you. So with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Daniel and let him talk a little bit more about Lean Library.
Thank you so much, Mike. We are equally very much excited for this integration, and we'll be very happy to showcase it as well. I'm Daniel, Director of Product at Lean Library, and welcome everyone that has been able to join us today. Before actually jumping into just a kind of a quick introduction to Lean Library and what we do, I wanted to show you a quick video that we prepared last year that we believe represents and showcases quite well what we do and through what means we are trying to achieve that.
This is your patron, and this is their workflow. And off they go on their exciting journeys of discovery and learning. But getting to what they need takes your patron outside their workflow, bouncing them around from one site to another, making access difficult and time-consuming. You want to help them, but how? By putting the librarian in the workflow. With Lean Library, you can bring your library into your patrons' workflows, giving them instant access to library services, resources, and support, helping them reach their goals. Lean Library. Take your library to your patrons.
So hopefully you like this video, and the reason why I always like to show this video really is because it showcases how we very much focus putting the library into the workflow of your patrons, and how we try to provide all library services or access to library services and library content in that method. So of course, our mission is to help redefining and amplifying the power of the academic library to advance student learning and researcher impact. Now we do this through our browser extension. And I'm going to show you exactly how that browser extension behaves and how we are able to amplify that. But before going to that, I just wanted to mention that we actually just published a white paper last year that was created over based on over 4,000 responses and a very much varied list of institutions and also a varied population of respondents. If you're interested in that, please go ahead and download your free copy. We do believe that you are going to be serving a good cause of that because Sage, with every downloaded paper, is also donating $1 to a good cause. So please go ahead and download it if you're interested in that. But within this white paper, we were wondering, and we wanted to find a bit more extended picture of how the future of the library will unfold. And of course, we did that because prior to this, we have gone through and the institution, all libraries and actually everyone globally had been going through a pretty interesting period of time, of course. And we thought that through this period of time, libraries and librarians and just generally speaking students might have been in the need of just understanding how this interaction between librarians and students were to go and continue developing. And so what we just essentially wanted to show two of our main findings, and it's a fairly in-depth research. So very much welcome everyone who's reading into it. But one of the findings that was quite interesting to see, of course, for us, is that 79% of the faculty and approximately 74% of the students began their studies outside of the library discovery website. Now, many of you might have heard this tendency, and we actually have seen many other research as well that found this. But we always find this very, very significant. So in total, approximately 48% of students and or library members and faculty members tended to start their research on Google Scholar very specifically. So that, of course, does not say that it is a good tendency. It's not to say that it's the most helpful way of conducting research in the modern age of, well, essentially just having internet and easy access to everything. Much rather, what we're trying to do with this is understanding our patrons' workflow and adjusting our features and adjusting our support to best support that specific workflow. Essentially, we admit and appreciate and suggest everyone to start their research at their respective institutions' discovery. It includes everything that's licensed. It's organized specifically to that institutional needs. But in case, but just admitting that it will not happen many times. Now, the other big question that we wanted to see what our respondents thought about, and just essentially wanted to validate some of our thoughts as well, and learn even more from that, is the question whether or not the patrons and the librarians adopted comprehensive digital application of their library, and whether or not the librarians and the patrons would welcome a browser extension in their workflow that helped connecting the library and the patrons. Now, 82% of the librarians said definitely would and or probably would, and around 88% of the patrons said definitely would or probably would. So with that, we learned that something like our browser extension that helps providing guidance and support within the very specific workflows of our patrons is valid and is welcomed as well. Before going into very much deeper into a bit more deep in which specific products does what, I just wanted to showcase our product portfolio. If you're aware, if you know us, then you probably know us for Lean Library Access. That is our legacy product. It was found as we started developing Lean Library since 2016 for Lean Library Access. Essentially, this product integrates into the library's holdings information system and authentication systems. And by doing that, so we're able to provide seamless access to library content and streamlined authentication processes, essentially in all workflows outside of the library. We're also able to provide over 30 million open access alternatives, and we do this by integrating Unpaywall and Core, and provide a few other different features as well with that. Now, on the other side, on the other end of the spectrum, we have Lean Library Futures, which is our very much exciting and newest product in the portfolio. We just launched the first version last September and have been continuously developing it ever since, and adding even more integrations and improvements to it. For example, such as the JSTOR integration that we are going to be talking about today. But when designing Lean Library Futures, essentially we took one step back and we said, okay, well, let's see what other services and materials and guidance there is from the library through that's being provided to the students, with which the students might have similar difficulties and pain points, similarly to, for example, getting access to licensed content free on the web. As mentioned, we do provide all of these products. Oh, apologies, just actually one last thought I wanted to mention here. We do an in-between package that's called Workflow for LibGuides. Essentially, it provides all features and all integrations specific to SpringShare. We've done 2 integrations with SpringShare, the LibGuides and LibAnswers integration. With the LibGuides integration, we are able to surface and showcase any LibGuides at any relevant location. So one of our most popular integration for that would be providing Google Scholar content, for example, very specifically on Google Scholar. I mean, we just saw the numbers and knowing at the same time that most of the institutions and libraries will have some guidance and manuals about how to use Google Scholar. And we do believe in providing these kinds of content and support at the place where it's the most relevant. We do believe that it's going to provide the most efficiency and most help if it's provided at the time and at the location when most needed. The other integration that we did with SpringShare is the LibAnswers integration, through which we're able to essentially connect the students with their librarians through the library chat widgets anywhere on the web. Now, as mentioned previously, we do all of this through our extension, and downloading the extension is very, very easy. You can just do it. You can download it into all major browsers, or you can just find the download links on our website as well. Once it's downloaded, the only thing that as an end user would have to do is essentially selecting the institution to which you're affiliated with. Afterwards, the extension will pick up all the integrations and the features that are available for that specific institution. So as mentioned, Lean Library Access is essentially our product that was very specifically designed to providing access and streamlining authentication. And by doing that, so driving usage and saving money, and at the same time promoting your library, because our extension is designed and can be set up very specifically to the institutional design language, so that it's essentially a white labeled product at the end of the day. Now, to showcase the power of Lean Library Access, we usually showcase this sequence of clicking that we just call the many-click nightmare. And let's just imagine that as a student, we would start our research on Google Scholar, trying to find access to an article. We all know how difficult it is and how many clicks it takes, let alone the fact that some of the publisher sites might be a bit confusing as well when it comes to choosing and finding the appropriate authentication method. And at the same time, of course, as a student, we might not even be aware to which authentication system we would have to turn to. Now, all in all, through our studies, what we found is that this approximately takes 12 clicks in most of the cases, and just takes just under 4 minutes. Whereas with our Google Scholar integration that our Lean Library Access product has, your users get automatically connected with the institutional repository on Google Scholar, and by doing that, so Google Scholar populates the hyperlinks to the full text or to appropriate academic articles, which then takes the user straight to the discovery from where the PDF can be downloaded. Now, this just takes approximately 4 clicks and just under 1 minute. So hopefully you see how much quicker and faster research and getting access to licensed content all of a sudden becomes that. We do provide a few other features as well through Lean Library Access. For example, the Ebook Alternatives that you can see on the left top corner, which essentially is a tool that showcases their students also on Amazon, but on anywhere else as well on the web, whether or not a ebook is licensed on a different location, and therefore, in some cases, saving money to your students. We do the same thing. We can do the same thing for articles, journal articles as well, through, as mentioned, the library holdings integration that we have. And this also works on aggregator source content as well. And as mentioned, we are able to surface open access articles as well through the Unpaywall and core integration. And if none of these features are available because the content that the user is currently viewing is not available from any of these sources, then as a last result, we're able to connect the user to the ILL or DDS page. And with the redirection, we are able to pre-populate the order form as well, which just makes that request a bit more easier, again, to the student. The last feature that I wanted to showcase from Lean Library Access is the assist messages. And the example that we chose here is essentially the New York Times example. The New York Times is what we see is that it's being licensed by most of the institutions that we work together with. Now, the problem with that is that New York Times cannot be authenticated throughout the default authentication systems, such as EasyProxy or any SAML-based authentication as well. And so what with Assist message, what Library Assist can do is that it can provide very much customized messages on very specific locations. In this case, for example, the library just set up a message to their students, providing a link where further information can be found and access can be obtained to New York Times. Now, as mentioned in Lean Library Futures, we wanted to explore what other content and library services can be supported in a very much similar way, and we envisioned this as an application that sits on the patron's desktop, or to be more specific, that sits with the patron throughout their workflow in the browser. And with that, what we aim to do is providing access to all these materials and support that were originally designed, or the access to was originally designed in a very much content-centric and campus-dependent linear system. But as we saw, this has been going through a slight change, and we wanted to provide all of this in a patron-centric, learning and research-centric manner. And it's the exciting part, the JSTOR integration. And what Mike said about this is that expanding access to knowledge is what we are all about. So we're thrilled to have open access and licensed content on JSTOR available to people as they search Google Scholar and Google. So essentially, what it does, and I'm just going to stop it in a brief moment. What we did here is when the students go to Google Scholar and search, well, we first of all provides the workflow librarian that we call it, which is an expandable and minimizable menu, the menu that we referred to in the previous slide as well, on the right side of the screen. What you also see is that it's again designed specifically to your institution. In this case, it's just our test institution, University of Make Believe. But this menu is going to appear only on websites and very dynamically providing the features that are enabled and are available on that very specific website. So it will, for example, obviously leave out non-academic websites and will only provide features and tools on very specific websites where the library either has configured them, so the library and the librarians have 100% control over this menu and all the content within that menu. And through this menu, the student can then activate the library search feature within which or into which we've integrated JSTOR content. So for that, what the student does here, apologies for that, misclicked. The user will essentially just expand the menu on the right side of the screen and will click library search. After which this little widget will be injected into the website. Now this feature has been pretty much fully redesigned earlier this year and have been redesigned in such a way that multiple endpoints or results from multiple endpoints can be surfaced here. Our original idea was approximately half a year ago to connect the library's discoveries into this, but then since we have been excited to work together with content provider vendors and publishers as well. And we were thrilled to work together with JSTOR as well for this integration. And so in this specific instance, the user will or has looked and searched for global citizenship. And when the user triggered this feature, we've essentially replicated this search query against the JSTOR database. And so whatever content is available for this specific search term, through JSTOR, we are able to show them within this library search widget. This can be triggered automatically as well. And so it will work the same way as in the previous example. I'm so sorry, this is a different video. So what this video will show you is that when we've provided the search, the results, and the user will click on this video, any of the results, we will take them to the corresponding content page of JSTOR. Or if the user clicks view more results, then we will of course take them to the JSTOR search results page. But in this specific case, we've taken to JSTOR's domain to that specific materials page for further information. And by doing this already, what we are trying to achieve is building a bridge between the workflow of the student and between the provider's website itself. And this has been always very much important for us as well. We just want to connect the students back to the location where they should have been in the first place for further information and more in-depth information for their studies and academic articles. This is going to be the video where this user will click the view more link. Not that video, very sorry for that. Through or where all other searches and search results can be found and can be browsed from JSTOR themselves. In this case, the user can get access to 136, almost 137,000 items, which is quite extent. Now, where is this feature available? First of all, we've been working on our free product Lean Library Open that I just showed a little bit of a screen grab as well. Essentially, it works within the same extension that you can download from any of the browser stores or from our website. And the only thing you need to select is Lean Library Open. Now, we've created this institution, which is a fake institution, of course, for all of our students. That are studying at an institution that are not a partner institution of ours at the moment. And we did that so because there are quite a few features that we are able to provide to these students through this specific instance for free, and we just wanted to do that. So this JSTOR integration is going to be available with open access content through the Lean Library Open institution. So please go ahead and try it out if you wish. And of course, for all of our Lean Library Futures clients and partners, we can make it enabled anytime. Please feel free to just reach out to me or any of my colleagues as well. And lastly, we are able to monitor basic stats for this integration so that we provide an overview to our partners, how many times this feature has been triggered and how many times specific content has been clicked. And at the same time, we also designed this and worked together with Mike on this in such a way that we are including a parameter in the redirection URLs as well, so that JSTOR themselves can be able are able to see the additional usage through these routes as well. Now, the benefits and the usage, the benefits for this feature really is what we've mentioned previously, is being able to offer this help at the point of need, and that has been in the focus and the center of essentially in every single time we are designing a feature now. And we've done a case study with Utah State University approximately 2 years back, which was done and conducted on with a different feature. But we still think it's very much relevant because it's in essence, yes, it is a different feature. We've conducted it on one of their LibGuide integrations. However, that LibGuide integration was also very much in the same situation. It was surfaced at the point of need, and what you can see on the graph is how much more usage we were able to generate for that manual for the students of Utah State University. Another case study that I wanted to mention has been conducted or was conducted a few years before even that, and this was conducted with Lean Library Access with our partner NHS Mercy Care. And now this graph shows you the additional usage that we were able to generate through our extension to their licensed databases, and we were able to increase the usage up to a total of additional 40%. So hopefully you see through these two case studies that the value of these integrations, and we of course will be very happy to conduct a JSTOR specific case study, so hopefully soon in the future as well. That is essentially what we wanted to showcase to you, and if you have any questions, please just leave it in the Q&A section, and we will be very happy to answer them.
We've got a couple of questions, Daniel. So I just read them. I'll read them out, and then whoever's best to answer them. So there's one question here. The integration for Google Scholar, is it done by users or integrated on the Lean Library admin dashboard?
So the feature is it has to be enabled on the dashboard for Lean Library Open using students. They won't have to do anything. Actually, no students will have to do anything. It will be just automatically enabled once the integration has been enabled on the back.
Cool, thank you. And then the next one is, does the integration on Lean Library Open show only open access JSTOR content? Indeed.
Only open access. With Lean Library Open, because that instance doesn't have any holdings information in integrations and or authentication system integrations. We all just want to provide access to open access articles and content that can be easily and freely accessed, essentially just with a click.
And then one more question here. Do you have an example of a university that has this feature enabled so we can see it in action?
So in action, you can always try it out. As you mentioned, just please download the extension and select Lean Library Open. You're going to be able to straight away experiment how this feature works. that is probably the easiest way to test it, as long as the person who wants to test it or try it out is not part of one of our partners. When it comes to partners, yes, we are very happy to enable this integration straight away. Just please let us know.
Great, thank you. And then one more has just come in. Is it available on pages other than Google?
Currently, it is only available on Google and Google Scholar. Appreciating the addressing the use case that we found in the white paper, but we are planning on making available this library search feature on many other search engines as well. So that's going to be coming, but as of now, it is only on Google and Google Scholar.
Great, thank you. Hopefully that's answered, yeah, all the questions. If anyone has any other questions, then please just put them in the Q&A and we can answer them. Or if you have any questions after the webinar, then feel free to send them over to us and we'll get back to you. Great. Perfect. So I think that's everything.
Super. Well, once again, thank you so much, Mike, for the common work. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for everyone who has joined us today.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. Thanks.
Super. Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Bye.